Hey everyone, it's Jason and this is your cruise news update, and we have a passenger that's being banned for life for stealing luggage on their cruise. A warning about your passport that you need to be aware of before you take your next cruise. And we have more recessionary fears that point to a slowdown in the cruise and travel industry. So cruise story number one, and we have a wild story here. So a passenger got off a Carnival ship and their luggage was missing. Now, I have to tell you, I don't know about you guys, but I do not like putting my luggage out the night before. I just don't. We usually walk off with our luggage. I just feel better that way. So this person in the evening put their luggage out, and when they got out to the port, their luggage was nowhere to be found. They were seeing that it was on the ship because they had an air tag. So they knew it was within the vicinity. They couldn't find it. So they had to get to their flights. They went home. And they were still tracking it. And it was still on the Carnival ship. It went out to sea, came back. They're like, what is going on? So they are working with Carnival, and they figured it out, and they were like basically pinging their air tag. And crew members found it a couple doors down in another cabin. Simple mistake, right? Something happened. No. This passenger was doing multiple back-to-back cruises and decided she liked that luggage and she was going to steal it. Can you believe that? Oh, I want this luggage because it looks nice. So they confined this passenger to their cabin for the rest of the cruise, and now they have been banned from Carnival Cruise Line for life. You'd think the story just ends there. Well, there's another part of the story that gets even more wild, in my opinion. So Carnival works with the passenger, ships their luggage back to their home, and they're basically putting this out on Facebook. It's almost like a play-by-play of what's happening with their luggage. They finally get it. Everyone's like, yay, they got your luggage. They open it up and everything's missing. Whoever had their luggage stole all the contents of their luggage. The gentleman's like, my boxers were in there. Who steals boxers? You gotta be kidding me. So they have estimated the contents were about $1,000. And here's the interesting thing. They are working with Florida law enforcement and Carnival, and they are wanting to file charges in Florida against this passenger, and grand theft in Florida is $750. What on earth? One, you steal the luggage, and you can go on back-to-back cruises. Something doesn't add up there to me. What about you guys? That just doesn't sound right. And then you steal the contents of it, including boxers. I can tell you, I don't think anybody would want my boxers. And I wouldn't want anybody else's. What on earth is this deal? Now, granted, been kicked off Carnival Cruise Line, banned, probably gonna face some charges in Florida. What do you guys think about this wild story? Let me know in the comments. So cruise story number two, what form of identification do you use to get on your cruise? A little bit of warning here, if you use a passport, you need to be aware of this. So I've seen this pop up 3 times in the past couple days, and it's people that are saying they had less than 6 months on their passport. And they tried to put it in the Royal Caribbean app, and they received this picture right here. When they called into Royal Caribbean, they said, hey, in the past, we've been able to get away with this, but unfortunately, I'm so sorry. We're being told now we have to get really strict about this, and you're gonna need to make sure you have 6 months or more. So when you go to book your cruise, if any time during your cruise you have less than 6 months on your passport, you're gonna wanna make sure you re-up it. Now, there's people that were out there saying, hey, we've been able to re-up our passports if you do an expedited service in about 10 to 12 days. So it's not months and months and months like it was in the past. So just make sure you're aware of that and you look at that passport expiration day before your next cruise. So before I get to cruise story number 3, I would ask that you please like this video and consider subscribing, as it does help the channel grow. If you could do that for me, I'd greatly appreciate it. Thanks so much. So cruise story number 3, and on Monday night, we received news that sent shockwaves through the cruise and travel industry. So Delta Airlines, which is obviously interconnected with the entire travel industry, did something that some people are saying is unprecedented. So they announced basically an update to their forecast of first quarter earnings. And they said they're going to have up to 70% less revenue growth than what was originally forecasted. They announced this after the stock market had closed on Monday night. And it sent shockwaves through the cruise industry. My brother called me and goes, "What is going on?" He goes, "Royal Caribbean is getting creamed after hours. Down 7-8%. They're already down like about 3.5-4% for the day. So they are sitting at $200 a share as I'm doing this on Monday night. And on January 31st of this year, they were $277 a share. So if you take Royal Caribbean, Carnival Corporation, and Norwegian, they have lost a total of $34 billion in market share since January 31st. What is that, 6 weeks? That's staggering. To put it in more perspective, Delta Airlines has a market share right now of $34 billion. So they have basically lost Delta Airlines. That's the kind of losses that they've incurred. But what does this all mean for you and me? We may not even be in the stock market. You know, it might be something we're even invested in, but we like going on cruises. Well, if you're inside of 90 days on your cruise, I wouldn't even pay attention because we know cruise lines get final payment 90 days out. So we're going to see a delayed reaction from this. I talked about this on Saturday, and this is just basically a continuation of it. But I want to give you more information. So 2 websites that I would use to watch your cruise price, and I'm not affiliated with either one of these, is cruisewatch.com and cruiseline.com. Now, it's a little vague because you can only put in inside, ocean view, balcony suite. But it will tell you, hey, cruise prices are coming down. I'd put those in there and I'd watch the price. And if you see price drops, call your travel agent, call the cruise line if you book direct, and get those price drops. And if they won't do it, you hit a roadblock there, hang up and call someone else. That's what you need to do. The other thing too is if you're looking at potential, future cruises and you're going, hey, what cruises are dropping right now? I use cruiseplum.com. Now I'll put all these links in the description so you can check them out. And what Cruise Plum does is you can take the 3-day tracker and it shows you anything that's been dropped 15% or more. I just checked it out this evening. Couldn't believe how many cruises have dropped 15% or more. So make sure you're doing that so you're not wasting money. Also, I think it's very interesting. This could be a pendulum shift here. As we've said, book out as far as much in advance as you can to get the best price on your cruise. And I don't think that's a bad thing to do. But maybe more people, there's this fear of recession, are going to want to hold on to their money. They don't want to be locked into a cruise. And so they may book, 30, 60, 90 days out. You might see more deals, again, last minute cruises. Those used to be a thing. Those had gone away. I don't know if we may see that happen again. So what do you guys think? So I'm going to continue to watch this for you because I'm interested to see the long-term effects this will have on the cruise industry. So I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you again so much for the continued support. And until I talk to you soon, happy cruising.